Can plecos live with Malawi cichlids? Malawi cichlids are some of the most colorful fish, but with all that color comes a fair amount of aggression. This makes it so that most fish aren't good tank mates for Malawi cichlids. What's nice about plecos is that they are great tank mates for Malawi cichlids if you follow a few rules and guidelines. Now, while most plecos are tough enough for cichlids, there are a few things that you'll need to do to make it successful. Plecos are a nocturnal fish and like to live in caves for protection, so it's important that your pleco has a cave or a hideout that it can use to escape your Malawi cichlids. Also, you'll want to feed your plecos after you turn out the lights on your tank. Cichlids are furious eaters and will eat with all the food before your pleco can even have a chance to have any. As with any Malawi cichlid, it is important to overstock your tank so the aggression is spread out to everyone and not just a few fish. This will also help with your plecos as well. If you overstock the tank, your pleco will be less of a target for your Malawi cichlids. Will cichlids kill plecos? It is very possible that your cichlids will kill your plecos. Malawi cichlids are extremely aggressive and will harass other fish to death. This is rare if you follow a few rules. The first is having hiding space for your pleco that isn't easy for your cichlids also to fit into. Second is make sure to get a pleco that won't fit in your Malawi cichlid's mouth. There's a much bigger threat of your pleco being eaten than it is being harassed to death. Third, make sure that you have enough cichlids in your tank. Cichlids are best kept in an overstocked tank. It helps disperse aggression to all the fish and not just one fish in particular because it gets lost in the crowd while running away. Can plecos live with mbuna cichlids? Mbuna cichlids are considered some of the most aggressive African cichlids. While I definitely agree they are aggressive, I don't think people need to be as scared of them as they are. They are one of my favorites to keep from Lake Malawi and are the fish that got me obsessed with the fish hobby. Mbuna cichlids tend to be on the smaller size, which actually makes it better for your pleco in keeping them with it. The main concern with cichlids and plecos is if a pleco is able to fit into the mouth of a Malawi cichlid, they'll end up being eaten, even if they are vegetarians. Mbuna cichlids are a vegetarian fish and in the wild mainly eat algae, so they'll compete with your plecos for food, so feeding them after the lights go out is a must. While I don't think I can 100% guarantee success rate for keeping plecos with mbuna cichlids, the success rate is high and definitely worth the risk. Can plecos live with peacock cichlids? Peacock cichlids are on the more gentle side of Malawi cichlids, and it makes it easier to keep plecos with them. They are less likely to be aggressive to other fish. That being said, they tend to be a fair amount bigger than mbuna cichlids, so their mouths are bigger, making it easier for your pleco to be eaten by them. This is one of the reasons that I suggest getting some bigger varieties of plecos and buying them at a bigger size. If your plecos are bigger, then most the risk is eliminated of them being eaten. You can definitely keep plecos with peacock cichlids. They won't chase after your plecos constantly, and as long as they don't fit in your peacock's mouth, they won't be eaten. Can plecos live with hap cichlids? Yes, you can keep plecos with hap cichlids. Hap cichlids are fairly calm and only aggressive with each other for mating rituals and show of dominance. The main thing you'll want to watch out for with your hap cichlids are that they are the biggest type of cichlid from Lake Malawi, and they are a predator type of fish that are always looking for a tasty meal. Your pleco can easily become lunch for a hap cichlid if it's too small. They are a large fish and have large mouths, and many plecos will fit in it. I would make sure to select a pleco that is full grown and at least 6 inches long. There are tons of types of plecos that are cool looking that are this size or bigger. Will plecos eat cichlid eggs? Yes, plecos will eat cichlid eggs, but they'll only eat them if they've been abandoned. Malawi cichlids, for the most part, carry their eggs in their mouths, so there's little risks of plecos eating these eggs. They also generally don't have the skill to dart in and steal the eggs before the Malawi cichlids put them into their mouth, so the odds of them ever getting it to these eggs is extremely rare. Will plecos eat cichlid fry? Plecos equally don't have any interest in eating cichlid fry or babies. Many people are concerned about their cichlid fry because they are small and vulnerable and have no way of protecting themselves. One reason people are concerned about their plecos eating their cichlid fry is that they have heard the common saying that if it fits in a fish's mouth, they'll eat it. While it is true for most fish, plecos really aren't willing to put the effort to catch cichlid babies. The bigger threat to Malawi fry or babies is actually the other cichlids. Cichlids often eat cichlid babies more often than any of their other tank mates. Also, Malawi cichlids protect their babies in their mouth from predators, so a pleco would have an even harder time getting to the cichlid babies. They won't do this, though, because they have zero interest in hunting down cichlid babies or fry. Can bristlenose pleco live with cichlids? Bristlenose, in my opinion, is the best pleco to have in a cichlid tank. They're big enough that they don't fit easily into Malawi cichlid mouths, but not big enough that they look odd in the tank. They're not aggressive, but they can take a beating without any injuries or much stress, as they have the ability to defend themselves with barbs in their gill area of their body. They're also not afraid to use them when necessary. I also love that there are tons of different types of colors and shapes of bristlenose plecos. Many of my favorites are green dragons, super reds, L144 blue eye yellow bristlenose plecos. While there are very few plecos that won't get along with Malawi cichlids, there are a few that I would avoid due to how expensive they are and tend to be slightly fragile, such as an L46 zebra pleco or maybe a L134 leopard frog pleco. I've seen them successfully kept with Malawi tanks. You just have to be careful with tank setup and removing any extra aggressive fish. Like I mentioned above, I would suggest bristlenose plecos, but there are plenty of cool plecos you can put in your tank as well. They also double as a glass cleaner for your tank since they love eating algae. A few types that are great fits are L66 or L333 plecos. They're big enough and bulky enough that they can hold their own. Also, I love their black and white squiggly lines on their bodies. L397 and L002s are a great option. They have a similar body build and personality of a L66 and L33, but have cool stripes and designs on their back and are orange and red. If you're wanting a monster fish living with your Malawi cichlids, then you could always go with an L47 mango pleco, L191 watermelon pleco, or a L114 cactus pleco. What I love about these large plecos is that it doesn't matter if the Malawi cichlids are aggressive, because they're so big they can't be bullied by Malawi cichlids. Tips for keeping Malawi cichlids and plecos. Pleco tips. You should always have a cave or a hiding place for your pleco. Plecos in the wild hide most of the day and only come out to feed at night. Their cave is their home and it makes them feel safe. Plecos prefer temperatures between 75 and 82 degrees Fahrenheit. They're a tropical fish from South America and need those temperatures to thrive. Plecos like clean water, so it is suggested to do a water change of 25% or more each week. Plecos aren't a schooling fish, so you don't need more than one. If you choose to have more than one pleco, make sure that you have at least 5 gallons per pleco and there is a hiding space for each one of them. Feed your plecos. Many people think because their pleco is a cleanup crew in the tank, they don't need to feed them. Make sure that some food reaches the bottom of the tank for them. I suggest putting in an algae wafer as you turn off the lights so that your pleco can eat without other fish trying to steal it. Plecos love high amounts of oxygen in the tank, so having good filtration in the tank is a must. I prefer sponge filters, but any type of filter can work as long as it's adequate for your tank's size. Malawi cichlids. The best tip for keeping Malawi cichlids is to overcrowd your tank. Malawi cichlids are very aggressive, so if you have lots of fish in your tank, then the aggression will be spread out to all the fish, making it so no one gets picked on. One great rule for Malawi cichlids is to keep one fish for every 2 gallons of water. This rule helps with the rule above to spread aggression out of your tank. Another way to help with aggressiveness is to have large rocks or decorations to break up the line of sight and provide hiding spaces. Because overcrowding tanks is the best way to help with aggression, it creates a lot of fish waste in your tank. To counter that, it is also suggested to do at least one water change a week of 50% or more. Keeping plecos with Malawi cichlids can be extremely fun and something I would suggest. With all the different types of plecos, there's one for everyone in every situation. Let us know what type of pleco is your favorite to keep with your Malawi cichlids.